What's going on, Bitchline Gamers? It is Benser, and you click this title and you want to see the top 5 Call of Duty best perks. This isn't just one specific game, it's all of them. So, I mean, hey, if you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, all the cool nonsense. Speaking of that, Oscar Cool, subscribe to me, and also TJ Gibbs. And if you do, I'll shout you out as well. Plus, one thing I do want to add about this, I'm not going to be including Jug because obviously it would be in the #1 spot, which everyone does, which is really lame. But like gamers, let's get it. Tier 5 for our list is going to be PhD Flopper. Now this perk cola costs about 2,000 points and features a dark blue and purplish color scheme. It's pretty obvious when you have it. I mean, it's one of the cooler looking perk cola icons. The thing about this perk as well, it completely negates self-inflicted damage. This means like ray guns, splash damage, all that, you know, explosive nonsense, even grenades, as you guys can see in the gameplay shown right now. Obviously, you know, it is pretty good. I mean, literally, you can't die with the ray gun. I mean, this is really good, especially in Black Ops 1. It's alright in Black Ops 2, counting the fact there's only one map that really does have PhD besides actual looks. But one thing about this perk that is a little bit extra as well is instead of taking fall damage, you take temporary movement reduction. So basically every time you fall off a ledge, you are stuck in place for about maybe like half a second. It could kind of be shown when you're like next to a bunch of zombies and you're panicking and you're like, oh god, how am I gonna get out of this? You know, you're still gonna have that, but you're not gonna take damage, which is really good. The main thing about this perk though that everybody loves is the dive to prone effect. When diving to prone, the dolphin dive, you can do a maximum of about 5,000 damage at the center. So zombies that are kind of around you aren't going to take as much damage, but when you are at like the center of a crowd, it's going to do a lot of damage. To put this in perspective of rounds, you know, because 5,000 damage, I mean, it's not Cold War, it doesn't have any little markers, so what does 5,000 damage mean? I mean, between about rounds 20 to 30, you'll be able to actually kill zombies, and then about after that you're going to be, you know, making crawlers, which is a little bit unfortunate. It is a really good perk, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy this perk, but it's only on Black Ops 1. Now tier 4 on this list is going to be Speed Cola, and let's be honest, this is really good in the older games, but not so much anymore. It used to be about 50% extra sleight of hand speed in the older games like Black Ops 1, World at War 2, 3, and I believe even Black Ops 4. In Cold War, it's not so good, about 33%, so obviously this is why it's at the lower spot, and I wanted to show you guys the actual prime Speed Cola. But I mean, Speed Cola is 3,000 points, pretty expensive to be honest. It's available basically on every map. The thing I do like about Speed Cola more is this does have a more useful effect than say PhD Flopper. I mean, PhD Flopper is only useful for explosive weapons, while this on the other hand, you know, you're able to use this as much as you want. It's absolutely amazing. It makes every gun good. If you have fast mags, you know, you don't really need it necessarily, but at the same time, I mean, Speed Cola is freaking Speed Cola. It's amazing. I mean, who doesn't love it at the end of the day? But honestly, gamers, I don't know why, but the thing about this is it sometimes just isn't enough for, like, say LMGs. I mean, LMGs are kind of slow, so it's kind of understandable as to why, but it does help. But you know, that's going to be it for tier 4 gamers. Now for tier 3 on this list, it's going to be Stamin Up. Now this bad boy of a beast is one of my personal favorites. It is my personal favorite, to be honest. But, you know, let's speak in actuality here. Stamin Up is about 2,000 points, got featured off, and Ascension has been about every single map. Hence, afterwards, I mean, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, Moon, Green Run, Buried, Origins, Shadows of Evil, Giant. You get what I'm trying to say here, okay? Stamin Up is pretty influential. I mean, this perk has been around for a very long time, and one that lots of players actually enjoy, which is, you know, pretty useful counting the fact that it's only 2,000 points. It has two effects. I mean, you do get twice the amount of sprint endurance, so you know, you get double the time you can sprint, which is pretty useful considering if you're playing the older games or even now, counting the fact super sprinters and all that nonsense, you want to make sure you can get out of the way. But what comes into play with this also is the actual increasement of speed. Now 7% is the actual increasement, but it doesn't seem like too much, but chat, you can literally dodge and weave and just run through any enemy you can. It is absolutely such a great perk, and is the main reason I really do like this. The thing about this perk is that what is really enjoyable is, to me, I mean, literally you get double the amount of time you can run, and an insane amount of sprint increase, man. If you're playing with like an LMG like I am right now, you can literally just outrun anything. And even George Romero in Call of the Dead, you can outrun him, which is kind of like, I know that seems stupid, but it's kind of a big deal if you're really thinking about it. It is really useful in the bigger maps as well, like maps like Origins, Transit, hell, even Outbreak mode in Cold War Zombies, which, you know, if you're not running Stamina Up as your first perk, you're probably doing something wrong in Outbreak. This is an overall really good perk, and one I would recommend a lot. A lot of people sort of sleep on it just because, well, whoa, wow, you run just a little bit faster, but guys, you know how useful that is? Let's get into tier 2. Widow's Wine is going to be our tier 2 of our Perk-a-Cola list. I mean, Widow's Wine is an absolute banger of a perk. I mean, I think everybody can just about think of it. Debuting on Shadows of Evil, it is the first perk we actually got introduced within Black Ops 3 and the only one that we got as well. But that's not a problem. I feel like everybody can actually enjoy Widow's Wine. At a whopping 4,000 points, it makes it about one of the most expensive, tied with Mule Kick. And its ability is, well, a lot more than Mule Kick. I mean, Mule Kick in the older games is pretty bad. I mean, in Cold War Zombies, it's a little bit better with the tier system and all that. And it acts like Vulture's 8, but even still, Widow's Wine still beats this by a long shot. I mean, hey, this is the perk that literally carried zombies and is considered an S tier perk alongside with Jug. It has 4 effects while we're at it though. Zombies, number 1 for our start, that hit the player will unleash a wave of webbing from the player, trapping nearby zombies for about 20-ish seconds. This is really useful, especially on higher rounds, just like Stamina Up. This is a effect that really does keep the zombies tangled up. It can kill or just trap, which is also another really nice effect about it. It's not just a trap, it does kill as well. And you can actually regain your grenades from killing said zombies with your grenades just by chance, kind of like a RNG drop, like a Max Ammo or Carpenter. It's not as rare, but at the same time, it is definitely something that is at a rare of a chance. I mean, this really does give you some distance between the zombies, and you're able to actually run from them if you're in a bad situation. If you get a Widow's Wine grenade, you're good. But also, as you guys seen how I just threw that grenade, right? Grenades are literally sticky grenades. You throw them, they stick, and they'll detonate. Another great thing about that too is, well, it doesn't do any splash damage towards you. It kills zombies, does a really good job. Does the same effect as it would if you was in your inventory, but you can actually have control about it. This actually gives it a little bit higher of a drop rate chance of actually giving you something that you need. So, you know, like those little Widow Wine, you know, sticker things that pop out, the PNGs. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And honestly, it will actually instantly freeze them as well. Same as the inventory slot thing. Now, the third effect is actually both of them kind of like tied together. If you just simply wait to get them, they'll actually replace just like a regular grenade, so you get 2 around, which is actually really useful. It's not something you have to buy on the wall like a Semtex grenade or a Claymore. So, you know, pretty nice, pretty useful. I mean, it is Widow's Wine, baby. I mean, who doesn't love this perk? One of my favorites, to be honest. I don't like it just putting it up just because it's high, but let's get into tier 1. I mean, literally, tier 1, who wouldn't have guessed this? Double Tap 2.0. Let me keep this straight. 2, not 1. 1 is garbage. Okay, let me explain this to you guys. 1 is ultimately just a fire rate increaser. I mean, it doesn't really do all too much besides literally double the increasement of rate of fire. So say if you have a weapon that shoots at, you know, 750, it's gonna go about to 1500. I mean, that's pretty useful, right? But what if it only has like 30 rounds on the clip, or 50? It's literally just going to be gone. It doesn't really do anything besides kill zombies faster, but it doesn't do extra damage, which was the main flaw about Double Tap 1.0 back in the A. And it left players to actually just not pick it up and rather get PhD Flopper instead, or maybe even Deadshot Daiquiri, okay? Maybe if you were that crazy. But Double Tap 2.0 is a lot different. Now, you do get the increasement of about 50%, you know, extra rate of fire speed, but also you get double the damage, like double tap. I mean, who honestly, Treyarch, they kind of snapped with this. Double Tap 1.0 was a honestly big fat walking L, and it was awful. I mean, one thing about this perk that isn't really necessarily great is it doesn't provide additional wonder weapon damage, so you don't get that 2.0 extra effect, but you also do get the death machines and other power drops like this. You literally just get that extra damage, which is really nice. I mean, it is really like similar to perk, but just a little bit more of a difference, more say. I mean, you do have the double damage, which it isn't exactly amazing on the like higher rounds in the lower games, but in actually like Cold War, it's not in there, but with the addition of rarities, you can kind of compare it to like that, and you could see how the rarity system is actually heavily influenced by Double Tap 2.0, which honestly people in my eyes don't really see all too much, and that's probably why we won't get Double Tap for Cold War Zombies. But the thing about Double Tap is it was added actually in Black Ops 2, and this made people really enjoy it. I mean, it was in the best game. It was like in the best game, and people were actually playing it a lot, and a lot of people were actually able to use it, which was really cool. Double Tap 2.0 all around is way better than 1.0, and I know some of you may argue that, hey, Double Tap 2.0 isn't exactly the best, yada yada. I don't care. Okay, this is my opinion. No offense, but yeah, I mean, Double Tap 2.0, I feel like we can all agree it's at least a top 3 perk in the vast majority of all things. If you go back and play some of the older games, you're always, no matter what, you're going to get Double Tap. Besides Jug, because literally everybody gets it. Every single time you're going to have Double Tap in your pack, no matter what. Even if you're going for a high round, you are going to be getting that unless you used AATs, which kind of like take over that in Black Ops 3. But that's another topic for another video, obviously. But in the older games, actually really good, like Black Ops 2, mainly because, you didn't have AATs. But I mean, literally Double Tap 2.0 is honestly just as influential as Juggernog is. Relatively speaking, it is on every map featured after Verrucht, which was the starting point of the actual perk, just like Jug. I know you could say, oh, well, you could say the same thing about Quick Revive and Speed Cola. Well, let's be honest here. I mean, Double Tap 2.0 is a little bit more useful, I would say, in my opinion, because you can actually do more damage. Reloading faster and reviving faster is pretty neat, but killing zombies faster and actually getting them out of the way, the name of the mode is about zombies, so you probably want a perk that is about killing zombies, right? I mean, it is really good. I mean, I don't relatively buy it first, but it is one of those perks that I'm always buying second or third, but that is in regard to its actual utility, and that's the main part of this perk that really makes it good. But I mean, hey gamers, if you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, all that cool nonsense really helps out. Plus, I shout you out, and I won't break any caps. But other than that, gamers, I'll see you guys in the next one.